Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Caravan of Garbage, where we're making our way through the Rusty Crowe, his trilogy.
It's his trilogy and no one else's.
These are real events that happened that Russell Crowe recreated in real life.
You're slightly incorrect there.
What?
They weren't real.
What?
But then his acting...
He made them real.
It made them retroactively real in the past.
Damn.
So the history books all suddenly changed to make those real events.
Did he make this a two-Jarvis movie?
Yes?
This is a two-Jarvis movie, Mason.
Oh my God, it actually is.
There's human Jarvis and Paul Bettany Jarvis.
That's right.
Two Jarvises.
Two Jarvises.
Did you know that?
I know it now.
Anyways, please leave a like because we are talking about Master and Commander, The Far Side of the World.
That's right.
I feel a highly underrated historical epic. Historical. It's based on a series of books that are loosely based on real events.
Yeah. I mean, I would say probably not underrated, certainly underseen.
Maybe at the time, yeah.
We're going to get to this. I'm sure you're going to tell us a little bit later that this did not do well.
You don't know what I'm going to do.
I know exactly what you're going to do.
Just because I have a section at the end where I talk about box office and I do that every time, maybe I'm not going to do that this time.
Are you, though?
Well, I have to.
I was going to say.
I've researched it.
Great.
I'm not going to research something then not put it in.
Well, I'm going to say something off the cuff that I haven't researched at all. I'm under the impression it didn't do well at the box office.
Yeah.
And that's a shame. Because it's a different type of movie. It has some spectacular battles in it.
Oh, yeah.
But it's also very sort of contemplative. Mm-hmm. You know, if I can use that word, if I've said that word
There's a
correctly.
Moby Dickishness to it.
There is a Moby Dickishness to it. We're going to get to this, but it's the perfect dad movie.
Oh my God. This movie turned me into my dad, Mason.
Right?
Naval battles? Going into fog?
Right?
God.
Sitting around, broing down with your bros. Just dudes
With other dads?
Dads and dudes being bros. My goodness. This is the perfect movie. This is why it didn't do well at the box office. This is the perfect movie where it's on TV and your dad just walks into the room and he stands about 6 feet from the TV with his hands behind his back and he just stands there for 2 hours. He doesn't say anything. You know what I mean? Now, forget 4D, D-box, whatever, all the new innovations, the reclining seats in cinemas. They should have had a corral at the front of each cinema for dads to just wander in. Just an open door policy. Just a bunch of dads wandering in and clustering around and just staring at the screen and then leaving.
Mate, you are not wrong. So, you know why this didn't do well also?
Go on.
Just prior to this, though it was shot after, came out another movie with a famous Captain Jack in it.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay.
And so people saw Pirates of the Caribbean. This is also Rusty Crowe's theory as well.
Okay.
And that was a big swashbuckling supernatural adventure. It's an incredible movie, but this is very different. And they kind of marketed it as Boat Gladiator, which is what I went Gladiator, which is what I went into this thinking. Okay. And I remember seeing it in cinemas and I hadn't seen it since and being like, I don't know, not really for me. I just think I wasn't dad enough for it at the time.
Right, now you're extremely dad.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, sure, there is some lashings.
Yeah.
Some people do get lashed.
Oh, yeah, they get lashed.
Some children lose their arms.
Yeah.
Also, side note, I think one of the things that maybe I didn't pick up on the first viewing of this, that it didn't twig for me. But as an adult, I'm like, oh yeah, most of the crew in this are kids because all the previous crew got, mown down by cannonballs.
Yeah.
They just have to replace them with whoever.
Or they just died.
Yeah, they just got a small cut in their arm and then they just died.
Yeah. Or all of their teeth fell out and they choked on them and they died.
It's exactly.
Scurvy or whatever.
Yeah. But, there are so many sort of nice moments of just men around the table. They're sharing dad jokes.
They're talking about a guy that they met.
Right.
And he was a pretty good guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lord Nelson or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. The privateer ship, attacks their ship and kills some of them and mutilates some of them and, they all nearly die. But, there's still time to make a little model of the ship and have a look at it and go, my God, what a beautiful ship.
You made this? Yeah, I didn't find it.
Well done.
Thanks.
It makes sense why it's so fast. Look at the beautiful lines on this beautiful ship. Isn't this wonderful?
As a reward, can I have some extra ramen to not be shot by a cannonball? We can do one of those things. We can certainly do one of them.
Uh-huh.
So to me, this feels like a series of ideas pushed into about 2 hours and 20 minutes.
That's a movie.
I agree. Not a bad thing. I think that totally works. I mean, as in now, this would be 8 episodes
It
of
would
something.
be absolutely 8 episodes, yes.
Yeah. This combines two novels, Master and Commander, and also The Far Side of the World. And in the original story, they're not hunting for a French vessel. It's a fictional American frigate, the Norfolk, because it was set around that era. Remember when the US and Britain went to war?
Oh, yes.
I mean, I don't remember it, but I've certainly read about it, Mason.
Yeah. I mean, it's not true anymore, obviously.
Yeah,
if Russell Crowe didn't act it hasn't happened anymore.
That's right. It's
crazy.
He made it unhappen.
Yeah.
So the story of this is, at the very get-go, they are set upon by this incredible French vessel.
Oh, hell yeah.
Which
You've seen the lines on that thing?
Oh, my God!
Yeah, you've seen the stern on that baby?
Whoa!
Poop deck?
Poop deck. Not for me. So they're set upon by this vessel. They barely escape. And then it becomes a cat and mouse game between them and this far superior, seemingly invincible ship.
That's right.
Which they're dodging and weaving the entire time, using all their tactical nautical knowledges.
Go port. Now go starboard.
Very good, sir.
In the 10 minutes it takes for us to change direction, they'll think we've gone port, but actually we've gone starboard.
We've gone starboard,
My God, that's seamanship.
Well, look, I also think Russell Crowe in this, he's a great captain or master and commander, if you will. I think there's a quiet strength and a calmness, and there is that sense of humor which he brings to it.
I felt for a lot of this movie there was going to be a reveal that it turns out he's actually a terrible captain, because he's got kind of like a,
Oh, he's got a wig in it?
Yeah.
No. He's a great captain. He's one of the best, Mason.
I agree.
I mean, even under duress, he's able to... You see him contemplating his next moves and how to discipline his crew and also... Lash them, obviously. And how to... Rum, yeah, exactly. And how to bolster them.
I'm putting you in the brig and you have to make a little model of a boat. Thank you, Captain.
Very good, sir. But yeah, keeping the crew together. He does a fantastic job in this. In real life, they all bonded together. They went to a boot camp and all of that to learn how to ship about. He made them play rugby as well. He's a big rugby man as well. So yeah, all that kind of camaraderie. They were trying to kind of capture that off screen as well. They had a little gentleman's club where there was no TV. It was just it was for playing pool and reading and probably smoking cigarettes, etc.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes.
It was called the Monkey Bar.
I get it. Sure.
Yeah, you get it.
I get it.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Of course, this is directed by the great and not late.
Correct. At time of recording.
At time of recording, Peter Weir.
That's right, Australia's own Peter Weir.
That's right. Gallipoli, Dead Poet Society, The Truman Show. I mean, he's an incredible director, and I think this is definitely up there.
2010's The Way Back, but not The Way Back.
Oh,
he didn't handle the sequel.
He didn't?
No.
I've never seen The Way Back. That's the Colin Farrell something
I
escaping
don't
the
know.
thing. No, I'm telling you.
Okay,
It's not a
terrific.
question.
Okay, all
It's
right.
a fact.
All right.
God, do you know what's good in this? The use of models paired with CGI, paired with real footage of the ocean. And they got Weta to do it. They used bigatures for a lot of the
I bet they got
ship
wetter
stuff.
to do it. Spending all that time in the ocean.
Thanks, man.
They would be getting wetter.
They would be, and they were. So Weta, of course, just came off Lord of the Rings. Yeah, so Weta did this thing, and we'll probably talk about it later this year. Who knows? That they kind of invented or pioneered on Lord of the Rings called bigatures, which is basically huge miniatures. So the ships that they used in this...
Regular-sized things.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Bordering on. That's what they used for a lot of the naval battles and some maneuvers, and then you kind of blend that with other things. It's an incredible looking movie, and just the chaos of a wooden ship just being riddled with cannonballs.
Right.
It just comes
Think
across...
of the splinters.
Oh my God.
Ow.
Ooh.
I mean, sure, that kid got his arm blown off or whatever, but think of getting a splinter in your palm of your hand.
It didn't get...
You're like, ow.
Yeah, it didn't get blown off. He got splintered, and then he had to get it cut off. They're like, we don't know.
That aside, imagine getting a splinter.
Oh,
Ow.
yuck.
Ow.
So there's a bunch of surgery in this. Paul Bettany plays the doctor. No good. I mean, this era, there's a moment where they all sit around...
I mean, he's the best in the business.
Yeah, but
At the time.
At the time, yeah. There's a moment where they all sit around and watch him dig into a man's brain.
Yeah.
Like it's Netflix.
Right? Well, if I poke the correct thing, he'll come all right.
Yeah, he'll be
eventually,
all
I
right,
think.
yeah. I'll just flick this switch.
Yeah.
He's using a coin and a spoon to perform surgery in the open.
Yep.
It's wild stuff, Mason. Oh, God. But look, the cat and mouse element of this movie, I just love all the boat tactics, Mason. I love discussing what they're going to do in the Mr. X and the fake ships and
Port
the
and then
light,
starboard.
port and then starboard, the poop deck, etc.
Drink a port and then go starboard.
Exactly. And it leads up to them stick insecting the French, where they disguise the vessel and, of course, manage to get the drop on them.
Oh, hell yeah.
Just wild stuff, Mason. So the ending of this, of course, it leads into the idea of a sequel because they think they get
Sequel bait.
Yeah, that's right.
always been Peter Weir's.
Yeah.
You know, that's always been his number one problem, isn't it? Remember at the end of Gallipoli, Thanos shows up. He's like, I'm going to do another Gallipoli. And everybody's like, here we go again.
I thought it was like the ending of The King's Man where Hitler rolls in and he goes, hello, I'm Adolf Hitler. Mm-hmm. You might remember me.
Remember at the end of Picnic at Hanging Rock? They're like, but what about the long car ride home after the picnic?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go again.
Everybody go again. Remember at the end of The Truman Show where they convinced him to do a season 2?
Right?
Yeah.
He's like, back in I go, I
All
suppose.
right, here we go again.
All right.
Yeah. Great stuff, Mason. So yeah, it does kind of hint towards that, well, look, there's more French tactics afoot here.
Well, exactly. I mean, that devious French captain.
Yeah.
He disguised himself.
How'd he do
like
it?
a grub. He should have admitted who he was. And
I
they
agree.
could behead him.
God.
But they're like, yep, there's more sea out there.
Yep.
What else can we find in the sea? Guess we'll never know.
I guess we won't know.
I guess nothing, because if Rusty didn't act it out,
Yeah.
there's nothing in there. It's
Absolutely
just emptiness,
didn't happen.
Pure emptiness.
Anyways, it's time for Master and Trivia. Far side of the trivia.
Go on.
Patrick O'Brien.
Who's that?
He wrote the books.
Interesting.
20 finished, 1 not. So
Okay.
he was known for his incredible...
Did he die?
Yeah.
Is that why, though?
Because he's incredibly old.
Okay.
And then he
He
died.
didn't just get lazy.
No.
He didn't George Martin it and just be like, I'll wait to see what the movies do. He's waiting for them to do 25 more movies, and then he's just going to copy the last one into his last book.
It was thought for like the longest time that this guy must be an incredible sailor because of the detail, like the attention to not only historical events but just the workings of a ship. He was just across it.
Okay.
Like these books are known for it. The 20 books that he did and the one that remained unfinished. But apparently he was a terrible sailor. Like it was discovered that he was like borderline dangerous. But I think that speaks to the work that he put into it, that people just assumed that he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
Which he didn't, Mason.
Oh!
Yeah. Russell Crowe actually broke from production midway through to fly to London for the funeral of his friend and Gladiator co-star Richard Harris, who you might know as Dumbledore.
No, I know him as whatever his character's name was in Gladiator. Thank you very much. R.I.P. Richard Harris.
I agree. And you know in this how Russell Crowe played the violin?
Yes.
He actually learnt just to play those songs and nothing else. And he
Interesting.
said it's like the hardest acting challenge he ever did. Now look, I would also love like raw footage of him doing it on set because I feel like he did it and then they like redid it over the top.
Sure,
I don't
sure.
know that,
Uh-huh.
but if he managed to just learn how to play a violin, that's fucking incredible.
Right?
That's impossible. But he
Well,
is the greatest actor in the world.
I mean, ABBA learned how to sing all their songs in English, like phonetically. You know, and they did that for years. And they're holograms now.
What?
Yeah.
How many of them are dead?
They're all still alive. They just
What?
decided to be holograms.
All right.
Yeah.
So can we be holograms?
Probably expensive.
Yeah, it's probably expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, we basically are. We're not in these videos.
No, that's true. We're JPEGs, if anything. And I think that's great. But yeah, incredible commitment for Rusty Crowe to do that, to do the violin, when obviously they could have just done like a below-the-shoulder cutaway to somebody who actually knows what they're doing.
Yeah. He actually went on to sell that 130-year-old violin later, which netted him a cool £73,000.
Wait, why did he have it? Just got to keep
I
it.
guess he got to keep it until he decided he didn't want it anymore.
Okay, great.
Yeah. And that's fun.
That is fun.
Yeah. Now, the box office of this is a new segment I'm introducing. It's called The Box Office.
Go on.
It's called The Big Box Office.
Huh.
Yeah.
And you're introducing it now.
Yeah.
So presumably this movie had a big box office.
Well, it had a box office on a budget of $150 million. Huge, by the way.
It's huge.
They were thinking Gladiator numbers for this, obviously. The return was $211 million internationally, which means it wouldn't have made its money back. That being said, the critics did love it. It was nominated for 10 Oscars. It won 2, but the other 8 categories went to Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. Remember that year where they just went, fuck it, Lord of the Rings, you win. All right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You win. You got it.
And you know what? They were right, mostly.
There was talk of a sequel over the years that never kind of materialized. Russell Crowe, when he does talk about this movie, he does talk about how it's underrated and he wished it did better. And
I wish more people had seen me do the violin.
yeah, absolutely. And how that, he would have loved to return to this character in this world. Which is interesting for him to say because, as we talked about last week, he's not a sequel guy.
Yeah,
and you
that's
could probably
true.
be like, I don't know, he was maybe a voice in Batman v Superman. I don't know. I don't know which comic book movies he's in. He's in a bunch of them, Mason. And some of them follow on and some don't. But often he'll tweet out, like, in relation to this. I've seen him do it a few times over the years. And he doesn't just do it for this, but he does it for a number of stuff. He'll say one heart at a time.
Yeah,
so
right.
he's just like, he's bringing people on board
Yeah,
to this movie and other things that he wants people to
Well, you've got us, Rusty Crow.
Yeah.
Dad DNA engaged. You got us. We salute you. And by salute you, I mean 6 feet from the TV, standing up, hands behind our backs. What's going on here? What's this? Oh,
Interesting.
that was all right.
So it was said in June of 2021 that they are going to do a prequel movie based on the first novel. I think they are looking to revise this. He also mentioned that maybe they're going to do it as a TV series. These books also have a lot in common with the Hornblower series, which became a long-running Johan Griffith
Oh, yeah, sure, okay.
Tully thing.
And, streaming's had some hits recently with this sort of stuff. The Terror.
Yeah.
Like 2 seasons. People enjoyed that.
Well, the first season was both. The second season was Japanese war camps or something.
Yeah, but it's still old stuff, isn't
It's
it?
old
People
stuff.
love old stuff.
They're looking at an old thing.
Yeah.
They're looking at it,
What's this
Mason.
then? Oh, it's Japanese camps, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I think it would be hilarious, though, if they did make a direct sequel to this and they don't de-age anybody. They're all just 20 years on and they've just been chasing this French captain. Anyways, if you'd like to see these videos early, guess what?
What's that?
You can actually head over to bigsandwich.co where you can. Here's a hint towards next week. What are we looking at for the final movie in the Rusty Crow His trilogy?
Is it Noah or Virtuosity?
It'll be one of those.
Okay, terrific.
That's not the only thing at bigsandwich.co. We also do movie commentaries. We do video game Let's Plays. We do bonus podcasts.
So true.
Our podcast, The Weekly Planet, where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. That comes out there every Sunday as opposed to Monday, where you'll find it on its own YouTube channel, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc.
You'll get the hot news a day early. Hot news and reviews.
And we're going to be covering Gladiator, Second Gladiator.
That's right.
Can't wait for that one, actually. It's
gonna be good.
It better be good, Mason.
That's right.
I'm going to be mad at Ridley Scott.
Denzel said, I put on the dress, I put on the weird headpiece, let's go. I'm loving that.
Me too. All right, thank you so much to Lawrence for the edit.
Thank you, Lawrence.
And we'll see you all in the next one.
My God, that's YouTubesmanship.
Do you think?
Yes.
I agree.
We did it.
Very good, sir.
Bye, everyone.